Let's have a look at some footage taken with the DJI Phantom 4 Pro and the DJI Mavic Pro and compare the images. Now, both cameras were set to the default picture profiles. The auto white balance was used unless noted in the vision. The ISO was set at either 100 or 200. The shutter speed was at 1/100th, and there's no color correction or post sharpening added. First off is a shot taken with the Phantom 4 Pro, and the thing that jumps out straight away to me is the level of highlight protection that this new sensor and codec seems to offer you. You can see all the little graduations in the clouds, and you can see how well it's dealing with bright sun hitting the water right there, but still maintaining a reasonable amount of detail and information in the shadows. This is a big improvement over some of DJI's other drones from what I can see. Here's a shot in the same location taken with the Mavic Pro this time, and what jumps out to me straight away compared to the Phantom 4 Pro is just how much less highlight protection you seem to have here. If you look at the sky, you're getting sort of a blown out look. There's not nearly as much information there. And as we head across the foliage here, you're going to see that this is where it struggles a little bit because it's only got a 60 megabits per second codec and not 100 like the Phantom 4 Pro. You are going to get some compression artifacts, particularly over things like foliage or fast-moving water, where there's a lot of information for the codec to try and process. Here's a side-by-side where you can now see the two different shots and sort of see the differences, and you can see straight away both of these cameras are set on their default picture profiles and on a auto white balance, and you can see there's quite a big difference between the two shots. The Mavic Pro obviously a lot more saturated, less highlight protection you can see there, and it sort of moves more towards sort of the green spectrum in terms of its look, where the Phantom 4 Pro is a lot more neutral. Here's the Phantom 4 Pro. So this is a good test here for the codec, just to see over fast-moving water and things like that. This is very hard for the codec to record all this sort of information and without getting a lot of compression artifacts. But as you can see, the Phantom 4 Pro is doing a pretty good job here. Here we've moved to the Mavic Pro, and you can see where the struggles are. Over fast-moving water. The codec only being 60 megabits per second here in this case, it's really struggling to record all that detail and then re-replicate it. So you can see the sort of patterning on the water and what you're getting with the Mavic Pro. Here's a 200% blow up from the same shot with the Phantom 4 Pro, and as you can see, doing a pretty good job over fast-moving water. That the new codec. The increased codec of 100 megabits per second here, really making a significant difference from 60 megabits per second. Here's the same Mavic Pro shot we just saw before, 200% crop, and as you can see, it's pretty horrible. It's really, really struggling here to pick up all the detail and the information in this shot, and it looks pretty bad. Again, another shot from the Mavic Pro just to illustrate the same effect, moving fast over fast-moving water. As you can see here, here's the 200% blow-up of that same shot, and you can see the sort of compression artifacts, and it's really struggling there to replicate that water. Here's the Phantom 4 Pro. This is a very difficult shot here for compression. Fast-moving water and sunlight hitting there, and you can see it's doing a reasonably good job. Not great, but still not bad. Again, here's another Phantom 4 Pro shot, this time set on the daylight white balance, which tends to be quite sort of warm. And here we'll just have a look at a shot from the Mavic Pro. Again, you can see the difference in the highlight protection that you get on both different cameras here. The Mavic Pro, obviously, the sky a lot more blown out. Another shot again with the Phantom 4 Pro, and as you can see, doing a really good job in a reasonably high dynamic range scene here, still being able to replicate plenty of information in the shadows and sort of protect those highlights without blowing it out. Good graduations in the clouds and the sky there. Here's the Phantom 4 Pro again. As you can see, if you look at the sky, it sort of looks like mush. There's not really much highlight protection there at all. It's blowing out, and you're not seeing any graduation in the clouds that are in the sky whatsoever. Phantom 4 Pro, here you can see nice natural sort of neutral looking image here. The colours are not overly saturated, good level of detail. Even the fast moving water and information that's seen, the codec is doing a very good job at keeping most of that information in there and making the shot look nice. Here's the similar sort of shot from the Mavic Pro, and as you can see, a lot more overly saturated, sort of leaning towards the green tones and struggling there with the compression of fast moving objects. Here's just another side-by-side comparison showing the two different looks of the two different drones. Here's a shot with the Phantom 4 Pro, just looking back at Jeff and I, just so you can have a look at skin tones and also the general look of the Phantom 4 Pro when set in the default picture profile. If we skip ahead here to the Mavic Pro, you can see very overly saturated, big difference between the two images. Here's a side by side, and it really shows the considerable difference between the two shots. Here's a shot with the Phantom 4 Pro going over the top of some foliage here. Pretty neutral sort of looking colours. The green's not overly saturated in any way. Quite a natural looking image, which would probably need very little adjustment if you were going to add some colour correction or sort of create a look from this footage. Here's a similar shot taken with the Mavic Pro. As you can see, it's a lot more overly saturated image. The greens are probably way too vibrant for my liking. You would probably have to dial down the saturation if you were going to use this particular shot, but this is what it looks like straight out of the box. Obviously designed more for capture and use of the footage straight away. Here's a side by side, and you can sort of really see the difference here between the two cameras as to what's being captured and their default look. So there's just a few quick examples comparing the Mavic Pro image against the Phantom 4 Pro.